So you're looking for sunglasses, you know you want polarized, but then where do you go from there? Stick around, I want to help you out. Hello and welcome, I'm Eyeglass Tyler. I want to talk to you about picking out polarized sunglasses. It seems like it should be an easy enough thing, but in this day and age of doing everything online and you just want a little bit of insight as to what is the right avenue to take, how to pick, I want to help you. The idea of this video is to give you a little more insight as to what you'd be ordering and what to look for. Hopefully at the end of this video, all of your questions are answered. If not, leave them in the comment section below because we'd love to hear from you and we'll get back to you. What I'm going to cover in this, I think the best way to give you enough insight so that you can figure it out on your own is to talk about how polarized lenses work. I'm going to talk about different types of polarized lenses and what your selection might be, and then I'll talk pros and cons of polarized. If by the end of this video I did my job and you are ready to buy, I want to let you know that if you decide to buy from SportRx, thanks to our See Better guarantee, you never have to worry about getting something that isn't right or doesn't work for you. You have as long as 45 days with them to figure that out. Even if you get them in prescription, you just let us know and we'll take care of you no matter what that means on our end. And by the way, we have opticians who would love to help you get it right the first time. So reach out to us, use this as a resource. Let's get into this. All right, let's talk about how polarized lenses work. I have said this a lot. We've probably done about 1 million videos on this, so you're probably already aware, but why not talk about it? It's valuable. I think that's the best way to approach this topic in the event that you don't know. So a polarized lens, it means that there's a filter on the lens. It cuts light on a certain plane, on the horizontal axis. And the reason it does this is because it is blocking light that bounces off of other objects. Glare that's bouncing off of other objects like the road, vehicles, windshields, the water especially, and that reflected glare exists almost entirely on the horizontal plane. And so they're cutting off that wavelength with that polarizing filter that helps to give you just clear vision. If you're using it for the water, it helps you see through the water, helps block that annoying and not usable light. It just is a really good all-around thing to have, a really good all-around feature for your lenses. So definitely check it out. I mean, that's what you're here. You know that you want polarized. Now, if you didn't know what it does, you know why. Hey, if you're liking this content, but maybe you have additional questions about polarized sunglasses, or perhaps you have prescription needs, well, be sure to reach out to one of our very friendly expert SportRx opticians because they are eagerly awaiting your call. And for even more frame reviews, unboxings, prescription sunglass content, check out our videos and blogs. We will put a link in the description below. Now let's talk about types of polarized lenses because not all polarized filters are created equal. You might find at that $10 kiosk a pair of polarized lenses, and yeah, they might be actually polarized, but that is not to say that it's going to be a good quality polarizing filter. There are higher and lower quality polarized filters, of course, and one thing getting a little nitty-gritty in this that'll probably help you to understand a little better is that the polarized element, that filter, is applied to the lens material as a laminate. And there are better ways of doing this. Companies like Maui Jim with their Polarized +2 technology, Canon with their SR91, they find better ways to adhere that laminate or avoid a laminate entirely and have it be more part of the lens material. But the laminate, you can have a thinner laminate, you can have a thicker laminate. The thinner ones are not going to be as durable. They also have more potential to delaminate, which is a very common problem. If you've ever seen lenses that start to get kind of hazy, looks like they're a little cloudy, and you say, oh, those are polarized lenses. Well, it's delaminating and there's no fixing that. It's just replacing the lenses. There are other proprietary polarized techs out there that we love, like Prism and 580. Definitely reach out to us if you want to know the full list, or just check out our YouTube channel because we have lots of other videos covering all the other brands that we love and that we carry and that we work with and their benefits. When it comes to other options for polarized lenses, there are also tints. There are different tint colors. Do note that just because something is tinted, something is dark, does not mean that it's polarized. Those are separate features. They can work together. While I say that, it is not possible to get, at least in optics, it might exist out there in the world somewhere, but polarized lenses are not available in clear. There are some rare kind of niche lens color options that are available that will let a lot of light through but are still polarized. I'm thinking of Canon's C50 lens that lets 50% of light through and it's still fully polarized. It's a copper lens color. Also, Maui Jim has their HT lenses, their high transmission, because a lot of light comes through that lens. There are a lot of good options out there, and really it's overwhelming. So I don't want to get too in the weeds with that, but just know that just because it's dark, just because it's tinted, doesn't mean it's polarized. And there is a lot to learn about different colors when you're buying polarized lenses, because color is not just a cosmetic thing. And we will link some relevant videos there if you're a little more interested in that. We've done lens guides ad nauseum that you should check out, especially if you have any kind of brand preference or proprietary tech. We have a video on it. I will bet you anything. Now let's talk about pros and cons. Okay, so pros and cons. What is polarized good for? Again, we've done videos on this, but why not talk about it? It's great for, like I mentioned, fishing, driving, any kind of just all day, everyday use as well. I always recommend it. If somebody is calling and saying, hey, I'm looking for a pair of sunglasses, it's just meant for all around use, I think polarized is a good idea. If you have any sort of special use or a sport or an activity in mind, the cons is that it's not always compatible. It's not always a recommendation that I have for actually ball sports. I almost never recommend it for ball sports because there is a potential that it will mess with your depth perception. I mean, you're cutting a plane of light almost entirely, and so there is possibly a downside. Everyone's a little different. There are different people who report that it's an issue versus not an issue, and so it's not to say that it's always an issue, but as a general rule, I like to avoid it for ball sports. Another pro, I should have gone all the pros in order. This doesn't make sense, but we're talking here, right? We're friends. So a pro is that it can reduce eye fatigue. It is going to help obviously cut that annoying light. Glare doesn't tend to be all that usable because it's reflected light. Usually it's just distracting. Usually it is not beneficial. While talking about how it is not usually beneficial, there can be times when it is beneficial. And so here is another con for polarized is if you are relying on glare in snowy conditions to discern ice, then the polarized lens is going to make everything look nice and flat. And so you're not going to be able to pick up ice as well with a polarized filter. So do keep that in mind. Also, it's not always compatible with digital displays. So car displays, especially, this is an interesting one to me because forever I've been saying, if you have a newer digital display or LED display, it should be less of an issue. But now they're getting so advanced with some of their head-up displays and everything that it is becoming a problem again. And so do keep that in mind if you have an especially fancy car. The luxury automobiles tend to have more problems with polarized lenses. You should be aware of this. It's your car. You know what you have and your devices and everything. Just something to be aware of. That is a potential con. Okay, that pretty well covers it. Just a little last moment main takeaways note. Polarized helps to reduce or eliminate glare from reflected surfaces. It is going to give you, generally speaking, a darker lens, so it's going to cut a good amount of light transmission. Polarized lenses are not all created equal, so make sure that you're buying from a reputable brand or a reputable source so that you don't get a lower quality polarized lens, because that, if it's your first time getting polarized, it can totally affect your opinion of a polarized lens. You can say, I don't like polarized. Well, you didn't get a very good polarized lens, and so that might not be a great experience. So definitely keep in mind where you're buying from and what you're getting. They are valuable for everyday use, not generally a big suggestion or recommendation for me for ball sports. And don't forget, if you order from us, that See Better guarantee is really good peace of mind. We will absolutely take care of you. Also, before you buy, we'll take care of you because of our opticians. We would love to talk to you. Reach out to us. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this was interesting or valuable information. If so, throw us a like because it helps us. You can find relevant videos over here, and also we have great content on our social media outlets. I would encourage you to check us out there too because we have good content and I think you'd like it. And you can find us at SportRx.